What if the universe around you, the stars, the planets, this very screen, what if none of it could exist without you? Today we're exploring a radical idea right at the edge of physics and philosophy, that consciousness isn't just a product of reality, it might actually be the source of it.
Okay, so let's dive right in. To even begin to tackle a question that big, we first have to find the cracks in our everyday understanding of the world. You know, the little inconsistencies that hint that reality isn't nearly as solid as it seems.
So let me ask you something straight up. That chair you're sitting in, the device in your hand, are they really out there, solid and real, even when you're not looking at them? Because the deeper we look into the nature of reality, the more it seems like something much, much stranger is going on.
Now, before we go any further, you know the drill, our standard disclaimer. We're about to explore some seriously mind-bending speculative theories. The goal here isn't to convince you of a single truth, not at all. It's to explore the very edges of what might be possible. So listen for fun, question absolutely everything, and above all, stay curious. You know, for most of human history, our picture of the universe was pretty straightforward. We trusted our senses. The world was a collection of solid, predictable objects existing out there, totally separate from us. A rock is a rock, a tree is a tree, whether we're around to see them or not. Simple, right?
But then came quantum physics. And when we started peeking at the universe at its most fundamental level, well, that common sense view just started to crumble. At the smallest scales, the world stops behaving like a collection of tiny billiard balls and starts acting like a strange realm of pure possibility, where particles can be in multiple places at once and don't seem to exist in any definite state until we look.
And this just illustrates the dilemma perfectly. The implications were so bizarre that one of Einstein's colleagues literally asked him this very question. He thought the idea was absurd, of course, yet the math of quantum theory stubbornly suggests that particles exist in a cloud of probabilities, a wave function that only collapses into a single, definite reality when an observation is made. This implies the observer isn't just watching the show, they're part of creating it.
So, if our old school view is full of holes, what could possibly replace it? Well, this brings us to a couple of really radical theories that offer an alternative. Think of them as whispers of a deeper truth, trying to make sense of this quantum mystery.
First up is the zero-point field, or ZPF. This theory says that the vacuum of space, it's not empty, not even close. Imagine it as this shimmering, invisible ocean of pure potential energy that fills every single inch of the cosmos. In this view, the ZPF isn't just in the universe, it basically is the universe at its most fundamental level, the raw energy from which everything else is born.
Our second key witness is a theory called biocentrism. And this one, wow, it takes that quantum observer effect we just talked about and just runs with it, flipping our entire worldview on its head. It argues that life and consciousness aren't just some late-arriving accidents in a dead universe. No. It proposes that the universe itself is fundamentally a biological construct. Without a conscious observer, there's no space, no time, no reality as we know it.
Okay, so we have these two radical ideas on the table. A fundamental field of pure energy and the idea that consciousness is central to everything. Now let's see what happens when we start putting them together. How do they actually build an entirely new model of reality?
This is where our old ideas really just get shattered. In this model, matter isn't solid at all. That electron isn't a tiny ball bearing. Instead, the theory calls it a resonant stochastic oscillator, which I know is a mouthful, but it's just a fancy way of saying it's a stable vibration, kind of like a musical note that's held perfectly steady, constantly humming in tune with the energy of the zero-point field. Matter isn't a thing, it's a pattern, a dance.
So how does this all work? Well, as you can see here, it's basically an information exchange. Let's walk through it. First, you've got the raw primordial energy of the ZPF. Okay, second, matter resonates inside that field, creating its own unique information pattern. It's dance, right? Third, our brain, being this incredibly complex biological system, acts as a resonator, able to tune into these patterns. And finally, and this is the absolute key,
It's a two-way street. The brain doesn't just receive information from the field, it also influences and imprints information back onto it. It's a constant cosmic conversation.
And this brings us to the climax. This is where all these pieces snap together into a picture of reality that is, well, it's truly mind-blowing. So get ready for this.
Let's just put these two worldviews right next to each other, because the difference is absolutely staggering. The old view gives us this cold, clockwork universe where life is just some random fluke. But this new view, it suggests the complete opposite, that the universe doesn't truly become real until a conscious mind is there to observe it. We're not an accident in this story, we are a necessary part for reality to even exist. And before you write this all off as some sci-fi fantasy, just listen to Nobel laureate Eugene Wigner. He basically said that the laws of physics themselves seem to require a reference to consciousness to be fully consistent. This suggests that the mystery of the observer isn't just some philosophical problem, it's a deep, deep issue right at the very heart of physics itself.
But, and this is a big but, it is absolutely essential to bring in a strong dose of skepticism here. As critic Dimitri Brandt points out, the biggest logical leap, and maybe the biggest error, is assuming that the bizarre rules of the quantum world just scale up to our big, everyday reality. Just because an electron can be in two places at once doesn't mean your cat can. It's a really crucial counterargument to keep in mind.
So if we just entertain this wild, participatory model of the universe for a minute, even with that healthy skepticism, it leads to one final, really profound question. What's it all for?
One source I was looking at put it this way, shifting the focus from the complex mechanics of reality to its very essence. If we are participants, then maybe the point isn't just to exist, but to feel. The why isn't some complex equation, but an experience. And this is the final beautiful takeaway. If the universe actually needs an observer to become real, then we aren't just living in the universe. We are the universe's way of knowing itself. We are the senses through which the entire cosmos gets to experience its own joy, its sorrow, its beauty, and its mystery.
So maybe the point of it all is simply to participate, to feel the warmth of the sun, to listen to music, to connect with another person. Perhaps the purpose of life is experience itself. Thanks for joining this explainer. As always, stay curious.